And so let me ask you then, how then do you identify your father?
Now, this is key. Because what you're going to do is that you're going to recognize, first and foremost, that your destiny is wrapped up in that relationship. That's the first thing. To understand that there is, within your spiritual DNA, that there is a connection. There has to be that connection. Without that connection, there's really going to be no basis by the which that there will be a releasing and a pulling.
Now, what does that connection look like?
In the spirit?
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, it's going to be a recognition that within this son lies the viability and potential of realizing your vision.
Wow.
That there are things I want to accomplish, but I wouldn't necessarily accomplish it in my generation. But now I can, through the power of succession, I could pour into or pass on into this individual. Right. I have to see greatness. Wow. I have to see purpose. I have to see that in this individual there is a call, and that there is within them the ability to realize my dream. My vision can be realized through them. Wow. That they won't necessarily be looked upon as a threat or competition, but a completion.
That's it.
A completion.
That's it. That's the important piece, because what we have is we have a lot of fathers that we see are intimidated by whom they would call son, simply because maybe their son or the one that is under them has a greater platform as it pertains to preaching or as it pertains to business than the one before or the father would have. And so sometimes you'll find this this war between the two between the both of them, where in which the father begins to get intimidated by the son, because now you're tapping into veins that I have not tapped into.
Well, this is the danger of what we call pseudo fatherhood. That's not a genuine father relationship, because the son must seek to have greater sphere of influence than the father. Listen, a genuine father, watch this. I want to use David for a minute and look at how David looked. Now, Absalom was his son, indeed. But even though David failed as a father to address the issues of Amnon and Tamar, Absalom would stand at the gate, and while he was undermining his father never exposed him as one who was out of order.
Wow.
But watch what David did. David abdicated his throne in order to allow Absalom to come into his reign and into his power. Recognizing that greatness. When you hear a father saying, Absalom, Absalom, my son, would to God I had died in thy stead. This is the concept that I must decrease, that my son may increase. So it's a would to God I had died in thy stead, because I have run my course. The father is not going to be intimidated, because he's willing now to pass the baton onto the son. And the principle here is that there's going to be a matriculation. Look at the concept of Elijah and Elisha. Glory to God. Now, Elijah is certainly the father, but the recognition of the ministry, Elijah touched Elisha, and Elisha followed him. Elijah said, what have I done unto thee? Meaning that he must recognize. You ask, how do you identify? That there must be something on the inside that bears witness, like Elizabeth feeling the kick of a John the Baptist, because there's something in your spirit. And this is not, you don't identify that by explaining. Sometimes it's just intuitive. You know that your destiny is wrapped up in a relationship. You know that your future is wrapped up in this relationship of sonship or as fatherhood. So, but watch this. It may start off that even though you got that, you have to first become a student. So until Elisha taps in and begins now to be ministered to by Elijah and begins to serve, because if you're not faithful in that which pertains to another man, who is going to give you your own? So there's the aspects of servanthood that must be involved there. You must be serving your father. So you cannot inherit that legacy of blessing and receive the DNA
and never serve.
And that's the problem we have, is that when it's time to serve, it's certainly, the Bible says, and the sons of the prophet, there were sons. Well, you can have many sons, but they're not necessarily serving.
My God.
But Elisha is serving, and he's serving close in proximity. That's why God was able to reveal to him that, listen, I'm taking my servant Elijah. He would not depart from him. But as a student, he's following Elijah from Gilgal to Bethel to Jericho. So Gilgal means the rolling away of the reproach.
Right.
A son must be willing to bear the reproach of his father. Hear the worst about his father.
Wow.
Know the worst about his father. And still
And
retain
still,
the relationship.
my God.
Not because you have a selfish motive,
Right,
but because the relationship is not conditional.
Right.
It's not conditional. And even true sons or daughters are not going to abandon the father in the light of a reproach. So from Gilgal to Bethel, and Bethel, of course, the house, from Bethel to Jericho. Jericho, a place of access. And now a true father gives access to ministry, access to the books, access to the resource materials, access to whatever it takes to launch your ministry. Give you a launching pad and give you a forum whereby your voice can be heard.
Wow.
Then not only that, Bethel to Gilgal, Jericho to Jordan. Now, when you get to Jordan, it talks now about the transition. Then now Elijah says to Elisha, what do you really want from me? Because this is where you have to identify, indeed, where your destiny and your future lies and what your purpose of the relationship is. He says that I may get a double portion, that I may do twice that you have done. God. You have done 16 miracles. I want to do 32. That's not competition. It means that whoever the successor is must matriculate. It must that it goes beyond that of the father.
My God.
So Elijah qualifies by saying, well, if you see me, meaning you will have distractions. But if you see me, watch this. When the chariot comes and separates them both, Elisha is not preoccupied with the chariot. But as the chariot is taking up Elijah in heaven, he has served him as a student. He has served him now as Elijah, being the headmaster. But he will not receive the evidence of succession, and the evidence of double portion is fulfillment of desire is not going to come as the evidence of master of this prophetic school.
My God.
The mantle will not fall until he steps out of being a student. You have many instructors, not many fathers. Until he comes into recognizing fatherhood. He says, my father. Because remember now, the chariot is taking up his headmaster. But he has to discern his relationship as not just a student, but as a son. And now he gets into the mode and saying, my father, the horsemen of Israel, and the chariots thereof. And the mantle fell. The mantle will not fall upon a son till he identifies his father. And you can have 10,000 instructors.
That's good.
Oh, the double portion comes, meaning that you don't get just what was your father's, but you get what's yours. Hallelujah.